And for more on all of this, we welcome Dan Illouz, member of the Knesset, Israel's parliament. Dan, thank you so much for joining us. My first question, do you have concerns Israel will lose international support as the IDF steps up its attacks in Gaza? I know we outlined some of those concerns a bit earlier.
Listen, right now, the free world is united with Israel, but it would be a lie to say that we don't have a concern long term. I do want to say, however, that the focus on civilian casualties in Gaza is, of course, something that's understandable. Every civilian loss is tragic. It's a tragedy. However, giving Hamas a free pass because of civilian losses would be a very big mistake, and that's for two reasons. Not only because Hamas is the one that started this conflict with a horrible massacre on October 7th, and that the only response to this massacre has to be the total eradication of Hamas, because such an organization that showed its evil face cannot survive, but also and especially because they are the ones using those civilians as human shields. Israel does everything it can in order to spare civilian lives, and Hamas, when we call on civilians to move away from conflict zones, they stop them from moving away. They use them as human shields. Now, if we were to allow Hamas this strategy, if we were to allow this strategy to be effective, that would endanger civilians in conflict zones all around the world, because it would send a message to evil regimes all around the world that they can use their civilians as human shields and then just get a free pass from the most horrible massacres, such as the one as we've seen on October 7th. And so it's very, very important, yes, to say how tragic the civilian losses are in Gaza, because they are tragic, but to point the finger only at Hamas, because they are the ones that are responsible for these losses.
And another major tragedy of this conflict, as you know, is the hostages who are currently being held. So Israel says several women are still being held by Hamas. Here's what the U.S. State Department had to say about why Hamas is holding back on freeing these hostages.
The fact that they continue to hold women hostages, the fact that they continue to hold children hostages, the fact that it seems one of the reasons they don't want to turn women over that they've been holding hostage, and the reason this pause fell apart, is they don't want those women to be able to talk about what happened to them during their time in custody. Certainly, there is very little that I would put beyond Hamas when it comes to its treatment of civilians, and particularly its treatment of women.
What do you make of that assessment?
I fully agree. I mean, we've already seen and heard some of the testimonies of the hostages that were released in the exchanges that we've had in the past. We've heard about children being held at gunpoint and threatened with guns whenever they would cry. We've heard about the sanitary situation in which they were held, the worst hygienic situation that doctors in Israel have ever seen. That's a quote from doctors in Israel. We've heard some very, very bad things. And of course, it begs the question, what's happening with the ones that are still being held? Why are they not releasing them? Why did they try to stop this deal by fooling Israel and then force our hands back into this conflict and to stop this deal that was ongoing? And I fully agree with this assessment. I have to tell you that as an Israeli, I think of my sisters, I think of my mother, I think of the women that I know. I also think of the men that I know, because the men, they are also going through hell, right? We're focusing on women and children. The men are also going through hell. And those are the people that I think of. They're being held right now, the hostages, and not my relatives, of course, but the hostages are being held right now against any norm of international law. The Red Cross is not visiting them. They're not getting any medication, even if they're elderly. Everything is against international law. And this is a clear contrast to what we've spoken about 1 second ago, about Israel being a country that abides by international law. Even when it attacks places that are difficult, we make sure to try to focus our attacks only on military targets. We try to spare civilians. We do everything according to international law. This is just another proof that Hamas does the exact opposite of international law.
What do you believe needs to happen, Dan, for these talks and these negotiations with the hostages to resume?
Listen, in the first time that these talks happened, the only reason why Hamas came to the table was because of the strong military pressure that we put on the organization.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.